Valerie Waters here with another episode of Red Carpet Ready TV, and I am super, super excited. I am downtown right now at the LA Convention Center at a Perform Better seminar series, and I just love this because they bring the best speakers in the world here, and one of them is always my really good friend Mike Boyle, who's world-renowned strength and conditioning coach, and I'm so excited for him to share some really great stuff with you guys. So listen up, because this is actually where I get a lot of my information that I share with you. So he's sort of like my teacher. And anyway, Mike Boyle, I thought maybe, you're really into doing single leg stuff right now or whatever, and so I'm just going to let you take the stage.
Okay. I think the interesting thing about this, what we're really talking about, is sort of this collaborative idea. Because you say, you learned from me, but one of the things, because we've had these lots of talks about females and training females and what females want and what females don't want. And I've actually, what I would talk about with your audience is sort of what I've learned from you as opposed to what you've learned from me. Because one of the things that we've taken back to our female clients and to my trainers is this idea, one, that any muscle a woman doesn't want is too much muscle. And that's something that's hard for us when we talk about, we train athletes, and I always tell my athletes, I don't care. You're not a model. You're here to perform. You've got to, if you have traps, that's okay.
Right.
But the average female is looking for certain things to look better and other things to look just right. And so that was one of the things. So for us, for instance, we don't really squat. Once we master bodyweight squat, we don't squat anymore because we don't find any of our female clients who come in and say, I really want bigger thighs. Right. What I'm looking for is to really expand, to get some more mass in my thighs. That doesn't happen.
No, they may want a bigger butt.
Exactly, they want a better butt, and that's why. So for us, we'll do, like we do lots of outside lunges. Not to give you a plug, but it's true. I mean, that's become a really staple exercise for everybody for us, but really much more so for our female clients. We'll do a lot of one leg straight leg deadlifts. We'll even do more deadlifts. Like we'll do trap bar. We'll do heavy trap bar deadlifts because it's a hip dominant movement that prioritizes their glutes and their hamstrings.
I don't think everyone knows what a trap bar is.
A trap bar is basically literally a trapezoid shaped bar, so it's a bar that you stand inside. So a deadlift really is just having the weight in your hands. Anytime if you're squatting with weight in your hands at your sides, you're really deadlifting.
Right.
So this trap bar deadlift is simply lifting up and down, but we would classify it as more of a hip dominant movement in terms of there's more movement at your hips than there is at your knee. So what we're finding for our female clients is we want to do more of these hip dominant movements that are going to give them better glute shape, better hamstring shape. So like I said, I could look at it and think, and I did for a long time, this is what I think. But what you realize is what you think doesn't matter. That's what I learned from Val. Val taught me that what I think doesn't matter. What I think looks good on a woman doesn't matter. The only thing that matters exactly what do they think looks good. So it's an entirely different thought process, but it's really one that's helped us in our personal training situation with our female clients, because we would always run into that same thought process of, I don't like the way my legs look, and I would look and think, I love the way your legs look, like your legs look awesome. And they're looking at me and they're like, no, they're huge. And
they don't fit my skin
right,
jeans.
exactly. And so what you realize is that you have to change your thought process. You have to understand that when they're not your athlete clients,
right, exactly,
and they're your appearance clients,
right,
the way you train them is completely different. Not completely, but we're not going to do a lot of what we would call knee dominant stuff. We're not going to do a lot of split squats. We're not going to do a lot of rear foot elevated split squat. We're not going to do a lot of squatting. We're not going to load up the bar and squat, but we will load up that posterior chain to try to get the butts moving.
And don't you think that when you are doing these single leg exercises, not only do they get great shape, but they do get strength and stability and all. We're responsible as coaches still that we sneak in, the strength and we want you to be stronger, but maybe not just have more mass. So.
Or want more mass, like I said, but more mass, I don't mind. If they get more mass right here, that's okay.
Exactly.
I always tell somebody, we're looking for this as opposed to this.
Yes.
We don't want to be wider here, we don't want to have bigger thighs, but a little more depth is going to be a good thing. And there's very few women who will tell you that, I don't want my butt to look better and be rounder.
Right, no, they want to be the cutie with the booty.
Yep, exactly. I just wrote, I was in the airport and I just started writing an article when I was in the airport about like the loss of asses in the world. I said there are all these pockets hanging just off the backs of people with no asses, pulled them up, and the whole airport was just filled with them.
Yeah.
Because nobody bends anymore.
I know. And they sit all day. And so I think, it's just so great that, one, you can get them up and show them that they can do these exercises, that they feel it where they want to feel it. It doesn't give them the too big quad look, but it is actually functional in life too. I think more often, I do hear, well, you pick up 35-pound baby, so you should be able to squat, whatever. But often you're picking stuff up, you know, like that.
Yeah, it's more,
you know?
you're much more hip dominant when you pick stuff up.
Right.
And if you do bend, I mean, it's rare. Most people, you'd love to think that everybody picked up their baby like this. But realistically, that's probably not the way that they do it. And that's not the way
the baby's taking off and they're like, whoa!
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So that's what I learned from my buddy Valerie.
See, we teach
On
each
Red
other.
Carpet Ready TV.
Isn't that awesome? Michael Boyle, thank you so
No problem.
much. And see, here we are bringing you all the great stuff. Bye.